Good evening, one and all. We welcome you all to the International Webinar Series on Holistic Health, Well-being and Sustainable Development 2024, commemorating Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, nation celebrating 77 years of independence, and United Nations Sustainable Development Goals 2015 to 2030 as part of awareness and campaigns in collaboration with Sri Holistic Health Foundation India, Sri Research Institute Center for Art, Sciences and Wellbeing. Before we start our sessions, let's take the blessings of Almighty.
कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः
With the blessings of Almighty, we shall continue with today's commemorations. Today, we are celebrating Children's Day in India and also World Diabetes Day across the world, which is celebrated on 14th November every year. Globally, an estimated 422 million adults were living with diabetes in 2014 compared to 108 million in 1980. The global prevalence of diabetes has nearly doubled since 1980, rising from 4.7% to 8.5% in the adult population. This reflects an increase in associated risk factors such as being overweight or obese. Over past decade, diabetes prevalence has risen faster in low and middle income countries than in high income countries. Diabetes is a major cause of blindness, kidney failure, heart attack, stroke, and lower limb amputation. Healthy diet, physical activity, and avoiding tobacco use can prevent or delay type 2 diabetes. In addition to diabetes that can be treated and its consequences avoided or delayed with medication, regular screening, and treatment for complications. In 2007, General Assembly adopted Resolution 61 by 225, designating 14 November as World Diabetes Day. The document recognized the urgent need to pursue multilateral efforts to promote and improve human health and provide access to treatment and healthcare education. The resolution also encouraged member states to develop national policies for the prevention, treatment, and care of diabetes in line with the sustainable development of their healthcare systems. Diabetes and well-being is the theme for World Diabetes Day 2024-2026, with appropriate access to diabetes care and support for their well-being. Everyone with diabetes has a chance to live well. Millions of people with diabetes face daily challenges managing their condition at home, work, and school. They must be resilient, organized, and responsible, impacting both their physical and mental well-being. Diabetes care often focuses only on blood sugar, leaving many overwhelmed. The World Diabetes Day, 14 November, let's put well-being at the heart of diabetes care and start the change for a better diabetes life. Diabetes is a chronic disease which occurs when the pancreas does not produce enough insulin, or when the body cannot effectively use the insulin it produces. This leads to an increased concentration of glucose in the blood, which causes hyperglycemia. Type 1 diabetes, previously known as insulin dependent or childhood onset diabetes, is characterized by a lack of insulin production. Type 2 diabetes, formerly called as non-insulin dependent or adult onset diabetes, is caused by body's ineffective use of insulin. It often results from excess body weight and physical inactivity. gestational diabetes in hyperglycemia that is first recognized during pregnancy. A healthy diet, regular physical activity, maintaining a normal body weight, and avoiding tobacco use are ways to prevent or delay the onset of type 2 diabetes. Diabetes can be treated, and its consequences avoided or delayed with diet, physical activity, medication, and regular screening and treatment for complications. The World Health Organization is one of the many members of the UN family engaged in health related matters, which includes, among others, the Joint Nations Program on HIV/AIDS, UNAIDS, in short known as UNAIDS, the United Nations Population Fund, UNFPA, in support to reproductive, adolescent, and maternal health, and the health-related activities of the United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF. So we'll look into this in detail later on. Now, today, as we are commemorating Children's Day, we have invited presentations on this day. So the presenters are requested to share their details in the chat box so that we can invite you one by one for the presentations. And we request all the participants and presenters to register through the registration form, which is being shared in the polls, in the form of polls, and the same time, the feedback form at the end of the sessions is also shared in the form of polls. So both registration form and feedback form is mandatory for generation of certificates, as system will automatically generate the certificates based on the registration data and feedback data along with your participation attendance in Zoom platform. So we request everyone to stay on the platform and enjoy the sessions. So now we have this Pradeep, who will be presenting on national disasters and impacts on children well-being and education. We invite you, Pradeep, for this session. He has been working on various animal welfare issues and rights since almost a decade and have been closely associated even with us. So we invite you, you can unmute yourself and start your video and presentation, Pradeep.
Thank you, Ravindra sir. A very good evening, one and all. Thanks a lot for being part of this Children's Day and also the International World Diabetes Day. So thanks a lot, Ravindra sir, for giving such a wonderful introduction. And without getting delayed, I will share my presentation. I hope my screen is visible to. Today, I'm going to talk about the uh, natural disasters and its impact on children education and well-being. We all know that climate change is real, and every day we are seeing one way or the other natural disasters happening across the world. So I used to generally earlier days we used to call as natural disaster, but now I would call them as man-made disaster because all the activities which we are creating it, and in turn which is responsible for uh, being in the fossil fuels and also destruction of forest, everything. So uh, whatever the uh, whatever the what we are creating to the nature, it is coming back to us in the form of the natural disaster, we being a cyclone, floods, and other heat waves. So we have seen many part of the things. So as far as whenever a natural disaster occurs, it affects not only human lives but also animal lives and also property. So as far as the today's topic is concerned, most of the today's being Children's Day, so children are being more vulnerable to the natural disasters. Let's see how it is. Natural disaster present a critical and developing threat to everyone, and also it especially for the prosperity. When it comes to the children, it is more. If you can take in worldwide, consistently 175 million children across the world, they have been affected by the natural events. So this could be various natural events. So this could be earthquakes, typhoons, heat waves, floods, heavy rainfalls. The list goes on. Generally, children are especially vulnerable to this type of events. They experiences various issues. This could be health, that includes physical health, mental health, and also learning problems after the disasters has uh, after the disaster has occurred. They have some learning problems due to the shock which has happened. And the quantity of children affected by the disasters has been rising alarmingly. It's been increasing every year and year, especially due to the climate change and also many of the natural disasters. Like either it could be floods, uh, earthquakes, typhoons, and other rainfalls, and and so on. So if you can see that as per the UNICEF, sorry, as per UNICEF, 1 billion children, especially half of the world's children, live in extremely uh, high. They may be affected to the high in terms of low income. Mostly they are affected to the climate change. This could be mostly from the low income level countries, and mostly they are, if you take about Bangladesh, Pakistan, India, and most of the time, mostly even some parts of US. US is something which is highly affluent country, but when you compare to somewhere they are across the world, in Asia also mostly we see natural calamities. So if you can see this picture, how the natural disasters, I mean the climate change, affect on child survival health. When we talk about hazards, the climate hazards, these could be, they have significant impact on children. This could be in terms of extreme heat. When their children are exposed to extreme heat waves, they get heat stroke, and they got so other health problems. When they have an extreme droughts, then there is a severe famine in the across the country or a nation. So the children experience some malnutrition problem and health related issues and wildfires. When someone is very close to the uh, forest area or anything, mostly they get affected by this forest by wildfires and forest fires, where they get exposed to the toxic gases like carbon dioxide, nitrous oxide, many other sulfur, many other toxicants. When they inhale about it, and they get respiratory illnesses problems, and floods and storms, thunderstorms and floods, which has a devastating effect on the children education. They get a lot of physical problems, health related problems, and mental health problems too. And air pollution, we are seeing currently in India. Delhi is a classified example. Every time now the air pollution index of Delhi has been affected drastically. So their children are exposed to asthma, bronchitis, other respiratory illnesses, and changing vector patterns. So, and apart from that, there are vector-borne illnesses too. So this could be diseases like malaria, typhoid, and dengue, and NCDs are non-communicable diseases. And apart from that, we have also the multipliers which aggravate the effect of the child well-being. One is water scarcity and contamination. Whenever any natural calamities has happened, the water gets and a severe drought is there. So there will be the scarcity of water. The children would not get a proper water, so they will be drinking most of the contaminated water. So they will get affected with waterborne illnesses diseases like typhoid, uh, and also some part of the, if you can see some part of the areas, we will be affecting the dysentery, like amoebic dysentery. So some, they affect a lot of the things, and at the same time, food insecurity. When there is a lot of drought and famine, there will be shortage of food grains. So it will affect the children health also, and infrastructural damages when there is any cyclones or floods are there. So there will be severe damage of the property. This property ranges from many of the things like farming sector or any other, like if someone is in a business or any other things. So they get affected a great deal of damage and service disruption. When we see that whenever a severe floods or anything is there, electricity disruption will be there, and also essential supplies will be also be where they cannot be reached to the particular place due to the incessant floods, rainfall, and other natural calamities. And displacement, sometimes during the floods, if you can see, children get displaced, lost from their parents, separated from their family. They exhibit a lot of mental trauma at that time, and the impacts during the natural disasters or hazards, when you see that when we are someone with a pregnant woman, they experience a lot of stress and trauma, and when this affects the child birth also. Let me share with the full screen 1 minute. Ah, so you can see better. Uh, so if you can see that this is a thing which has happened. It will affect the child birth outcomes, and if they, most of the pregnant women, they experience the pregnancy complications too. And at the same time, the children who are born, they have a, either they will have the underweight or overweight, so they have the malnutrition problems also. And as I said that due to the natural disasters and every time, the mostly the vector-borne diseases like malaria, dengue, this could be caused by mosquitoes and other and injuries. So during the flood and due to the floods or any catastrophic events or natural hazards, mostly children also get injured uh, due to the electric poles or any other, maybe due to the animal bites, like snakes, potential threat of that. So, and apart from that, children also get affected with the neurodevelopmental problems in the brain development because of the shock and all. So they cannot cope up with the uh, disasters happening across, because they were not in the state that much as adults or youth. So, and at the same time, it also affect their overall well-being. Another part of that, they have also been affected with non-communicable diseases. So, non-communicable diseases made of that we have, that's a separate thing. We are not talking about it. And this is the, if you can see, the schools, especially when they are children are going to schools also. This was actually happened a real incident. It is in Tamil Nadu of Madurai, Tamil Nadu Madurai district, where there was a in and the children are stuck in the area where the school buses, everything is there, but still there is, due to the flooding of water, they were not able to move, and they are in a very helpless condition. So there was a natural disaster team like NDRF, SDRF, we call them, a state disaster response force. They immediately come to the rescue the children by lifeboats and other potential, whatever the things were there, safely rescued the children. But after that also, children were in a very shock because they haven't seen that such situation. They haven't seen that such vulnerability, because it was a lot of natural distraction was happening in front of theirs. They were not able to cope up, that how to cope up, what to do for cope up. That was not even taught in their schools. So they actually face a lot of physical, that means also mental trauma. And if you can see this, the floods which been affected in Chennai, and also there are some in Delhi schools. You can see the schools, they have been entirely drenched in rain. And you can see the children are very difficulty commuting to the school with a lot of water drenched, and they are even drawn into the water. If you can see that they are on the bicycles, they have been thrown in the water. These are not the one. Many of the such circumstances are having across India, and mostly in the coastal area. We take about Andhra Pradesh and also Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Gujarat, Maharashtra, and certain part of, and also Assam. So these are mostly the climate affected mostly areas, and even in Telangana, Hyderabad also recent floods have had a devastating effect on that children health and well-being. And if you talk about the schooling, disaster can damage the education and schooling, because most of the time when we see about private like affected parts, mostly disaster affected areas. So if it is say take example of Kerala being mostly affected with the floods, a lot of the time the children education get affected because the schools, most of the schools, they have been used as an uh, what we call as rehabilitation, and at the same time they get damaged due to the incident floods and natural calamities. So so such times what it actually happens is the three essential manners will be have start with it. Schools themselves are intruding on children's school. Secondly, in case of children are harmed, are debilitated, or undernourished because of the floods and all. So what happened is some certain property damage will be happened. It could be, for example, if you take a child whose father is a farmer, due to the incessant flooding and all, the crops get damaged. So from the governmental level, there is the exclusion will be provided, but how much it will be coming, they are not aware, and the family has to they have to eat, and they have to eat the food, and their daily survival, which becomes very difficult. So what had happens is that certain cases the children will skip the schools. They don't want to go to the school because the family condition is not good, and they will be having incumbent pressure on them. So because of their family was not able to meet up the daily needs, they're forced to go to the as a laborer in the either in the shops, or even in the poultry farms, or chicken shops, and in many of the times. Even we have the children under 14 or 15 years were not able to for not for work as a child labor, but due to their financial conditions. That was created by the natural disasters, and this has forced children to move away from school, and their education was altered at that time. And at the same time, the serious disasters can harm or destroy schools. And some schools, because of the, if you take Assam, Kerala, mostly why I'm talking about the two states is because mostly they have a incessant rainfall, and even Maharashtra and Karnataka. So, and even certain part of Andhra Pradesh, coastal part, where severe effect of inclement rains will be there. So sometimes what it happens is the schools get damaged. So when there is no school, there is no proper infrastructure. How can children can learn the things? Because when there is no lack of when there is a lack of immediate facilities and proper infrastructure. So with a lot of even the children is having a lot of intention to study. There are a lot of environmental disruptions that happen, and at the same time, the school which was damaged, it will takes a lot of time to reconstruct and everything. So it will affect the where the child actually undergoes into their schooling gets disturbed, and at the same time they will be in a very dangerous condition. And moreover, parents will also will have a fear, because when there is a lot of water in the school, when there is a lot of floods in the school, the parents will also have a fear. It's not the right time to send the children to the school. So they what they happened is the year education, the entire year education got hampered, and they also at the same time they will be in a shock situation, because they don't know how to cope up the mechanisms of how to like how to cope with the and prevailing. There will be a monitoring pressure. Monetary pressures is because of the property damage which has actually happened. This could be agriculture. If someone is from agrarian family where their livelihood is entirely into the farming mechanisms, so they have a lot of uh, financial problems, financial burdens. So, as a matter of that, parents will stop sending children to the schools. So they are forced to move away from the education thing. So how we can cope up with these uh, things is there will be some post before the like any disaster is there, so anything is there. The post disaster intervention strategies that needs to be devised when it is in an academic perception, when it is in especially in the schools, and it will help the children to cope up. So let's see the what are the interventions. Firstly, the settings. Whenever a disaster event has happened, and the schools in the and then whenever a disaster event has happened, like say for example, take an example of a state which has been affected with a lot of floods. So whenever when the things is getting normalized, so when have been recovered, so it is some sense that the children will have some lot of stress and trauma. A school should always uh, should have some what we call as psychological interventions, because most of the time what it happens is mostly these schools have been used as a relief activities, rehabilitation activities. So and most of the time the schools are also being damaged, partly damaged, some are fully damaged. So so they're following the calamities. The children can recapture a feeling of what would have, and they will also have some stigma in them. So because when there is a school every day, we are going and meeting friends and everything, and suddenly there was a disaster has happened. So they actually have a fear how to go to the school. There is school, no school, and there is a flood, water in that. We can't sit in the benches. So these are actually happen as a child. They have their mentality. They have these problems, which will turn, which will revolve in their head, but they are very small and they can't able to even express that. So it is ideal that whenever schools are open, in order to get out of this mental trauma and all, the facilities should be taken place. Usually they can arrange a counselor, I mean a psychologist, child psychologist preferably, or else you can also arrange with a social social worker, or even we have Anganwadi, Asha workers. So we can train them also, so that they can be helpful for them. And certain psychological interventions need to be also be taught to the parents, because the children are more comfortable for their parents and their families. So it's something like to regain the trust of the trust from the children to get back to the academic process, and it's something like they should have the it takes a lot of time because it's a disaster is nothing but this everything is being lost and they have to again reconstruct it. So it takes a lot of time, but at the same time, certain psychological interventions will be if it had been introduced in the like the recovery stage of there. So see, children will also get have some certain faith in it. And group interventions are one of the most group interventions can help. Uh, one because clinical thing and all medicals and all it is little bit complicated. So in such, I mean to say, when it comes to the not everyone have that. So group interventions can help a lot. How and also lower the cost of the individual rather than individual interventions. There might be a decent decision after a disaster has happened when asset might be more restricted than expected. So numerous children, what actually happens is they encounter lower moderate degree of stress because children are like adults, are not like youth. They are curious and they are something like every day they are going to school, something has happened and they don't know how to cope and where to ask, whom to ask. And then at the same time, there will be family pressure and the mounting pressures, and there will be no, they can't able to go. They want to go to school, but there is no way for that because of the family financial burden is there. So in certain cases, group interventions work out. And social help. Social help here has a gigantically significant in assisting with adopting the after natural disasters and children disasters event like develop prosperity and well-being and setting the direction after a hazard. In children, explicitly social help. This could be from the guardians like family guardians. Some will be have like parents or anyone from mentors and anyone and schoolmates, especially friends, play a lot of role because most of the time children spend some time with the friends or companions. So these will act as a defensive factors against their negative symptoms. It will somewhere or the other it will bring back the child confidence and also it will make them adaptable to the class in the education after a disaster. And key partnerships, key partnerships which includes the cooperation between clinicals, that means physical clinicians and psychological and wellness support staff, including school and local area faculty. Because teaching the local partnership means physical health is one of the wellness. It's an integration of the physical health and mental health, and at the same time, the school staff, the teachers, are the who will be teaching the students. They also need to be get this aware of this interventions so that so that they can have develop some sense of empathy and compassion towards children. So this will also be encourage the kid to be protective and supportive towards advisors. And finally, in conclusion, protecting children from natural calamities and giving, reassuring them strength. Like it's okay, it's something has happened, but we are with you. So it's something like the parents giving the some sort of reassurance, or even the in schools also teachers they play after parents. Teachers are the best to care for the children. So providing not only teaching the subject knowledge, but giving some moral support and moral assurance, which is very much essential. So this could be involving child psychologists and also physical physicians if it is for a mental health checkup and providing some health camps too. So this could involving child psychologist in any way. It will also know where the children can know their problem, like especially when their guardians or parents, they can early interventions will be there if the child is facing some any mental health problems. So they can be noticed earlier notice in the early stage. So at the same time, certain medication will be suggested, and this could also help the child to be more be giving a reassurance to them, and so this could bring back to the normal stage. So that's all my presentation. And finally, I would like to say one thing is, uh, disasters can happen every time, because they are not a predictable thing. They are unpredictable. But however, protecting children from natural disaster, and giving them strength, inner strength, and reassuring them that we are there with you, and we will there with you, and no matter what your teacher side, and also the from guardians, and also if you have a friends and all, they should also has to come up, and this holistical thing, because children are not like youth and adults. Their coping mechanisms are a little bit very sensitive, so it's everyone's responsibility to do that. So with that, I'm ending this presentation. Thank you, Ravindra sir, and thanks a lot for everyone for listening such patiently. Now, if you have any questions, you can ask. Feel free to ask.
Thank you, Pradeep, for the very insightful presentation.
Thank you, sir.
The participants, if you have any queries, feel free to share the chat box or orally. Nowadays, as already Pradeep has mentioned, disasters have become a norm because of our lifestyle itself. Personally, our health is becoming a disaster because we are not following healthy lifestyle, which is also taking toll on our children. So we need to take care of ourselves and also our children and the environment in which we live, along with the food we take, the thoughts we pursue, and the actions that are created with our thoughts and the kind of behavior that we exhibit based on the triad of thoughts, feelings, and emotions. And that is impacting not only us, but also the planet, in which there is a conflict between human and environment, human and nature, human and planet, human and other species, which is creating many more disasters. As rightly said, nowadays there are no natural disasters. All are due to human interaction with the world, with the other species, which is creating a conflict-like situation where, you know, that is creating an imbalance and creating disasters. So we request everyone to come forward for the next 1 week. We'll be having daily sessions, and you can also, we are celebrating various commemorations every day. And the entire thing will be focusing on various child-related aspects. So we request you to share the information to all your friends, especially children. This 1 week, not just today, every day on any and in their convenient time, they can record and send their presentations or artwork or any painting which portrays some meaningful aspect of nature, environment, development. In this entire week, they can send the entries, or if it is possible, because it's evening time, if children are not able to present directly, they can record and send the presentation, or they can also participate live. So this entire week is a wonderful opportunity, starting from today, which is Children's Day in India, commemorating Jawaharlal Nehru's birthday, till November 20, that is World Children's Day or Universal Children's Day. So this entire week, you can utilize this opportunity, especially the children and as well as adults also, in presenting various child-related presentations. So we appreciate Pradeep for coming forward to take up this entire week, coming up with wonderful presentations. Along with Pradeep, we also invite everyone to join us in these sessions every day. And you also proactively promote and participate and also utilize this opportunity for presentations in the coming week as well as this week. So let's use this opportunity, everyone. Thank you once again, Pradeep. We appreciate you for your efforts.
Thank you,
And,
sir. Thank you, Louise.
we have few more commemorations today. So we'll quickly take that and we'll conclude today's sessions. So today we are also commemorating World Quality Day, which is also observed every year on second Thursday in November, which falls on November 14th this year. So the purpose of this day is to raise quality awareness and provide support to individuals and organizations for the achievement of economic prosperity and adoption of high quality standards. In 2008, the first World Quality Day took place in London, United Kingdom, UK, and every year the theme of the World Quality Day is decided by the Chartered Quality Institute, in short known as CQI. Some of the previous themes included sustainability, improving our products, people, and planet, and creating customer value. So the Chartered Quality Institute, CQI, chooses the theme of World Quality Day every year, founded in 1990. The CQI is a chartered professional body for experts in improving service, project, and product quality. Since its inception, the CQI has set standard for championing organizational excellence in quality management worldwide. The organization now has a membership of approximately 20,000 people and is the only organization that can award people with the Chartered Quality Professional status. The CQI is also in charge of the International Register of Certified Auditors, IRC. Part of the CQI's mission is to improve the ability of organizations to deliver the very best for consumers and stakeholders. Their vision is a world in which organizations of all types and sizes thrive by providing outstanding value for customers, stakeholders, and society. The maiden conference of World Quality Day took place on November 30, 2008 at the Imars Conference Center in London. Quality management, a fairly modern concept, is subdivided into four components: quality planning, quality assurance, quality control, and quality improvement, referred to as total quality management, TQM, in general, and it involves maintaining a desired level of excellence. William Edwards Deming is widely recognized as the father of quality in the West. He was a statistician and business consultant, and his methods helped Japan recover after World War II. So, quality training for employees, recognizing individuals who apply quality in organizations and creating a suggestion box related to quality practices are the ways you can celebrate. Maintaining quality in a business means satisfied and loyal customers. Good quality products also lead to long-term profit and economic prosperity. Whether you are a small business owner or a corporate executive, implement quality management in your organization. This will improve your workflow and establish a positive image for your company or business. Quality isn't restricted to corporate world alone. We all need to be quality individuals who can always be relied upon to put our best into everything we do. Though there is no required number of years when applying to the CQI, you must provide information regarding your relevant work history. It is also important to include all relevant training and qualifications when applying to the CQI. CPD and CQI require applications to state at least 3 relevant CPD objectives during the application process. CPD stands for Continuing Professional Development. Applicants are also required to take self-assessment based on the CQI's competency framework. Applicants must possess the requested knowledge, skills, and experience to work proactively and demonstrate leadership behaviors. These days dedicated to quality is a reminder that quality prevents mediocrity. Giving our best is ever important in our business, corporate positions, and individual lives. For organizations and business, quality management ensures that a standard of excellence is maintained. It prevents cutting corners and poor output in their dealings. Quality management protects customers and end users when companies, business, and manufacturers are held to certain level of responsibility in terms of quality. Customers can be assured of getting good value for their money. Today is also commemorated as World Usability Day or Make Things Easier Day, founded in 2005 by the Usability Professionals Association, which is celebrated annually on the second Thursday in November. This year it takes place on November 14th, which promotes the values of usability, usability engineering, user-centered design, universal usability, and every user's obligation to demand better things. Every year a new theme is chosen for the discussion, like our health will look into virtual healthcare, electronic health records, and others digital health related technologies. Professionals will talk about current concerns such as care, continuity, treatment access, mental health, and nutrition. The User Experience Professional Association established World Usability Day in November 2005. This association was founded in 1991 with a membership of 50 and has since grown to serve a community of nearly 2,400 professionals around the world by promoting user experience, which is in short known as UX, and concepts and techniques through annual international conferences and the Journal of Usability Studies, in short known as JUS, and User Experience Magazine, and 59 local chapters in 30 countries. The principles of user experience may be traced all the way back to the ancient days. Engineers aren't the only ones who have contributed to the development of user experience. In 1996, in the West, Walt Disney has hailed as one of the first user experience designers in history, obsessed with creating magical, immersive, near-perfect user experiences. Disney envisioned a place where cutting-edge technology could be used to improve people's lives. And from the original iPod in 2001 to the iPhone in 2007. Apple has also been a true user experience innovator, even in the terms of user experience device design with coined by IT behemoth. Today is also commemorated as International Girls' Day by Kappa Delta, especially commemorated on November 14 to encourage all kinds of interests that girls have and to inspire them to follow their dreams. It is an initiative that was undertaken by the first sorority in Virginia, Kappa Delta. It has continued in its efforts to foster confidence in girls and young women. Members of the sorority in its different chapters celebrate the day with pomp and vigor every year. On this note, we would like to help girls from around the world live a better life with the help of education. The intent behind creation of this day is to remind girls not to get bogged down by societal norms, but rather to be unapologetically themselves. Through the initiative, KD aims to build the confidence in young women to excel in whichever field they prefer, helping them realize their potential through various guidance programs. It is quite a progressive initiative coming from the time when women weren't allowed to be radical. Four college students, Sarah Turner White, Tyler Gardiner Wilson, Lenora Ashmore Blackiston, and Mary Somerville Sparks Henry, started the sorority. Millions of women have joined since then and have been contributing to its efforts as mentors and volunteers. Two of KD's major philanthropies include Prevent Child Abuse America and Girl Scouts of USA. Every year, the sorority hosts various programs for educational events to miscellaneous activities to promote its initiative. So the community at Kappa Delta is inclusive as it welcomes young women from across the nation irrespective of their races or ethnicities. The sorority believes in diversity and actively endorses it without any qualms, be it personal growth or professional. KD leaves no stone unturned when it comes to taking care of its community. The bond of sisterhood and friendship formed at KD is believed to be lifelong, and its members strive to stick together through thick and thin. So today is also commemorated as Children's Day in India on November 14th, which is recognized across India to increase awareness of rights, care, education of children. The day is also held as a tribute to India's first Prime Minister, Jawaharlal Nehru. Fondly known as Chacha Nehru among children, he advocated for children to have fulfilled education. Nehru considered children as its real strength of the nation and foundation of society. The nation usually celebrates Children's Day with educational and motivational programs held across India by and for children. India's first Prime Minister, Jawaharlal Nehru, was born to a family of Kashmiri Brahmins on November 14, 1889. His family, who were noted for their administrative aptitude and scholarship, had migrated to Delhi early in the 18th century. He was son of Motilal Nehru, a renowned lawyer and leader of the Indian independence movement, who became one of the Mahatma Gandhi's prominent associates. Jawaharlal was the eldest of four children, two of whom were girls. His sister Vijayalakshmi Pandit later became the first woman president of the United Nations General Assembly. It is believed that Nehru was known as Chacha Nehru by children because he believed that children were strength of India. However, as another story, the former prime minister was called Chacha because of his closeness with Gandhi, whom all referred to as Bapu. Hence, people suggested the nickname Chacha for Jawaharlal Nehru as he was seen as the younger brother of the father of the nation. Nehru, under the guidance of Gandhi, turned out to be a leader of India's struggle for independence in 1947. He laid the foundation of independent India as sovereign, socialist, secular, and democratic republic. For this, Nehru is credited as the architect of modern India. After the death of Jawaharlal Nehru in 1964, a resolution was passed in the parliament unanimously to honor him, declaring his birth anniversary as the official date of Children's Day. India used to celebrate Children's Day on November 20 every year before 1956, as the United Nations in 1954 had declared the day as Universal Children's Day. Therefore, each year since then, November 14 is celebrated as Children's Day in India to commemorate the birth anniversary of the country's first PM. To mark Children's Day, schools organize fun and motivational functions. Many prepare a Children's Day speech. In many schools, children are asked to ditch school uniforms and wear party clothes. It's a joyous occasion for all children, parents, and teachers. So with this, we shall end today's commemorations. Thank you everyone for joining us. So see you all tomorrow at the same time. Before leaving, we request everyone to quickly fill the feedback form, which will be raised in the form of polls. The feedback form has been raised in the form of polls. We request everyone to quickly fill the feedback form before leaving the platform. See you all tomorrow at the same time, 6 p.m. with the same link with different commemorations and sessions. Take care. Good night.